Hello everyone, thank you for joining us and tuning in today. My name is Supaki and here today with Fabian, who is 25 years old and has been at Petri for about 6 months now. And this will be our first interviews among our interview series, Meet the Petri team, where we'll talk to different members of the team and learn how they work here at Petri, what they do, and what they're doing to create a sustainable world. So, hello Fabian. It's nice to meet you today. I would like you to tell us more about yourself and tell us what you do here at Petri.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Paki. At the moment, I'm a master's student in hydrology at the University of Albert Ludwigs University of Freiburg, and I'm working as a trainee for Petri. And my tasks at Petri are doing data management and monitoring of all the plant processes and, for example, fertilizer and water usages for our plant systems.
Oh, that's nice to hear. So you mentioned that you're a university student, if I'm right. How do you manage to balance between your studies at the university and your work here at Petri?
Sometimes it really is not that easy because my master is very time consuming, but here at Petri I'm very flexible and everyone helps each other out, so we always find a solution. And sometimes I work from home, sometimes I work at night, sometimes I can work at the usual business times here at Petri, so that's pretty nice. So I have a lot of flexibility and freedom to work whenever I can work most efficient.
Oh, that's really interesting to hear. So what do you enjoy most here at Petri?
Definitely all the friendly and dynamic people and the open business structure where everybody helps and learns from each other, and because there's so many different qualifications that are working on the same projects together, and this is really awesome.
Oh, that's really interesting qualities I'm hearing about Petri, and I've heard that you're part of the aquaponic or hydroponic team. So what really is what is aquaponic, and what is this all about? Can you tell us more details?
Aquaponic is a combination of aquaculture and hydroponic, so farming fish and producing plants. And basically you feed the fish, and the fish, they produce excrements, and these excrements are converted by microorganisms to plant available nutrients. And the plants absorb those nutrients and filter the water by doing so. So aquaponic is like a balanced ecosystem where each part, the plants, the fish and the microorganisms, rely on each other. And so, for example, if the plants wouldn't absorb the nutrients, the fish would die because the nutrients, they are toxic to the fish. And if the fish wouldn't produce any excrements, the plants would starve because they wouldn't have any nutrition.
Wow, that sounds like a complicated ecosystem. So what I'm wondering is, how was it to develop such a process and what did it take? Because as I hear, each of the systems, both the fish and the plants, depend on each other. So how was it like to develop this process?
The system of aquaponic is really not new. It's a very old technique, and if you are aware of all the important parameters of the water quality and measure them often enough, then it's really not that complicated actually, because the system is pretty much self-running.
Would you like to expound what you meant by the water components?
Well, there are some nutrients, for example ammonia, which are very toxic to the fish and dangerous. So you have to monitor them and watch them and see if the concentrations, if they get close to any thresholds, so you have a dangerous point there. And if you are aware of those thresholds, then you have some certain techniques to do to make the system better.
So Fabian, would you care to tell us what was the process like of developing the aquaponics system here at Petrai?
The process was about for us here at Petrai to learn how an aquaponics system runs and what are the parameters, variables, what you have to look for, and maybe if you look in the future to plan a bigger system, because this one is just a prototype for us just to exercise and learn, and maybe one day we have more experience, we can build a bigger system, or we can teach other people to build those systems.
Oh, that's really interesting. So how far have you gone with the research, and what are your next steps for this prototype?
Well, we are just at the beginning. You can see the plants are very small inside the aquarium, but also up there. So it's just only a few weeks old. So the process will just be collecting data and see how changes on the system. If you change any parameters, how they change the system. For example, in the next step, we are trying to use another food for the fish, because now we're just using some convenient fish food, but later on we want to switch to feeding them just insects, and we want to feed those insects with leftovers and plants recycled from our hydroponic system. So that will be the next steps, but for now it's just collecting data and data.
So Fabian, I have another question for you. I think me and together with other people are still wondering, what is the difference between aquaponic and hydroponic?
Well, hydroponic is about producing plants, and aquaponic is about producing plants and fish. And both systems are running without any organic substrates such as earth. They're just running in water, air, and nutrition. So in hydroponics, you have all the nutritions already solved in the water. So you put in some fertilizer, usually you use some mineral fertilizer, and just let the plants grow. So you have no beneficial microorganisms which convert the nutrients, because they're already plant available. And in aquaponics, you use the fish as a fertilizer, so they produce excrements. These excrements are converted by the microorganisms to plant available nutrients. So in the end, you produce plants and fish in aquaponics, so not only plants. And you can maybe compare it to an hydroponic system. You just have a plant tube, and you put in the plant tube, you just put water and fertilizer in it. And an aquaponic system is more like a liquid compost, where you have microorganisms that convert organic matter to nutrients.
So Fabi, if someone or a company wants to have the system at home or in their business, what are the things they should look out for, and what are the things they need to know to take care and handle such a system?
First of all, everybody can maintain such a system. You just have to think about the scale and the goal. So how big are you planning the system to be? And what do you want it for? So do you just want a small, nice looking system which produces some herbs like this one? It can fit in everywhere. Or do you want a bigger system that produces plenty of vegetables and produce a lot of healthy fish you can eat? So that's the main part. You have to think about scale and goal. And on the other hand, you have to think about, you will plant it inside, do you plant it outside, and what kind of fish do you prefer, what kind of vegetables do you prefer? That's about it.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. So to our impact question of the day, how will the aquaponic system impact our city and even change the world? How do you see it?
I think aquaponic is a great opportunity to teach young people about the food cycle and to bring back some sustainable organic food production to the cities, as today's agriculture systems are so far away located from the cities. And on the other hand, I think it can play a role in really small-scale local food crisis, as it is very cheap and very easy to establish. You can feed the fish everything. You can just give them some leftovers or insects. Insects really eat everything. And the system also is very efficient in water usage.
Thank you, Fabian, for all the information you've given us today. Here at Petri, our slogan is "Make a Statement," and it's so clear that Fabian here is ready to make a statement and impact the world in a sustainable way. Thank you for joining us today, and have a good day.